Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to What's Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Well, it's Tuesday. Tuesday's request day. Today's map was requested by Gdex over on the Discord channel. Link is, as always, in the description and will be popping up on the screen pretty shortly. It's a creator we've done multiple times in the past, including quite recently as well. And sometimes that's how things work. You don't see somebody for a while and then they just pop up 3 or 4 times because that's just life, isn't it? As the creators go, one of my favourite creators for the passion that they have for the game, and actually this is, I would say, one of my preferred maps of the dozens that they have made. I would definitely lean towards this one. It has 1 or 2 problems, but having watched this show, you'll know those in advance and you'll be able to work around them. You'll also work around doing this for me, if you don't mind. That's right, clicking that like button really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people and helps me grow a little bit more every single day. Thank you for your support. Today's map is New Dawn by CHECO MX. Yes, CHECO MX, I would say is back, but this one is it's requested, so it's been sitting around for a little while. Let's have a little look at that start square. Yep, there you go. What can I say? Not too much to talk about. Built for gameplay. And then you have your terrain heights look like that throughout. It's not a flat map, but the undulations are well within tolerance for a fairly easy build. Resources are good and strong. I mean, seriously good and strong. And if you have Sunset Harbour and you want to do some fishing, it's about 3 of the 4 I see there. I don't see any tuna. Is there any tuna? I don't see any tuna. Not that it really matters, but hey, still strong and bold. Off to the workshop, what do we need? There is a little bit of a requirement list, not too many things. Mostly just a few autumn trees, of course. So we'll be using the autumn theme, which is a very nice, pretty theme. And the realistic 1.2 LUTs, because nothing else has been suggested. And that's it. That's it. Of course, bilingual, because CHECO MX from Mexico. We get it in Spanish, we get it in English, and they have their own YouTube as well. Which, to my shame, I've never been and have a look at. So I will be doing that during my coffee break. A little bit later on, just to have a look. I'm pretty sure it will be in Spanish and I won't understand the word of it, but I would love to see just a little bit of their creativity and their style of presentation. With their experience, I'm expecting something just a little bit nice, you know. And sometimes it's just nice to have something a little bit nice. There's so many different styles of creators. One of my favourite creators from way back was Crumbs McGee, and they were mostly just about intersections and detailing one small area of a map, and their presentation was just a little bit nice, whilst their detailing was absolutely top drawer, certainly for the time, and still would really match up, and definitely worth checking them out if you've not been to see Crumbs McGee. I did that Skylines talk with them actually. Really lovely fella. Right, not really talking about the roads at the moment. I should really take a look at the roads, highways, 3-lane highways, what can I tell you? And yeah, we don't have any encroaching trees, which is a blessing. See that so often that when you don't see any, promising you there'll be no encroaching trees over the entire map. So there's credit there. Coming up to the first intersection, we've got 2 intersections and both of them are a strong, sprawling design. Nice and big and bold and clean and crisp and good standards. Look at this. Look at that. I think everything just ticks on there, doesn't it? We're not... Well, I don't think we're... Oh, hang on. Could that be... There is an argument for that second lane in from us to be extended a little bit to elevated section. There's also an argument that these elevated at ground level roads could be dropped down to ground level. One other talking point on these down ramps, I'm going to leave for a little bit later on in the show, because experienced What's Mappers will have already have seen and noted and gone. BonBon hasn't mentioned yet. He has noted. We will get to that later. There's your start square, and down that ramp there, and that's fine, isn't it? Nothing really to say about that one. Is perfectly fine. We're about to head over to our second intersection. So yes, talking points, and yeah, there is that one talking point that I'm going to save until at the end of the show. I'm going to really stretch this one out today. So again, the second intersection here, it's big and it's strong. It's effectively a big old bridge. Everybody loves a big old bridge, working its way into a cloverleaf, and I think that works really quite nicely as well. Again, it's not something that I would ever use personally, but I can't see any problems with it, so why not? And there's going to be a lot of you that really like this, actually. Then we have, like I say, come across here to the cloverleaf itself, and the highway running right the way through the bottom of it. No pillars on the roads, nothing much to complain about. Got a little bit with the suspension here where, again, it doesn't quite align with the other one. Placement of the node is a small issue there. And you may have noticed one finer small issue. Again, it'll only be the experienced water mappers out there. So credit to you if you've seen it. If you're screaming right now at the screen, and if you're not, and you're an experienced water mapper, you may want to go back and have a look at that second intersection and see if you can see what it is that others might be screaming at the screen about in terms of I normally mention it. And I will be. I'm just leaving it. I'm extending things out a little bit. And yeah, that rail bridge we just passed under maybe was a bit extended. Maybe could have done with an extra pillar. I'm not that worried actually on that one. I think it just almost about falls within tolerance, and we can let it go. So we're going to let it go. Okay. But again, on this style of map, I think the reason why this particular rail bridge that we've just gone under gets away with it is just on this style of map. We're not looking at pushing the realms of realism to the nth degree here. We're not. We're looking at making a pleasing, which we have, definitely pleasing, fairly easy, I would say so far. You look at this, there's no issues with easiness at all. Quality map, and I think all of those things definitely are in place. In fact, if anything, I would say this map is kind of what the original vanilla maps should have been like. Just like this. Pleasing, nice, almost nondescript, and by CHECO MX's own description, this map isn't really meant to be anything. It's just a map that they made for building cities on. And I think they've succeeded. I think they've succeeded. Minus the one or two minor talking points, which we'll get to after the intermission and extra stuff.
You've worked hard and lived a long life. Maybe it's time to talk to your doctor about Bownair.
With all male enhancement drugs, a chance of a blood clot in your willy is possible. If that happens, just enjoy your last minutes knowing you achieved what you thought was impossible. Do not buy a Bownair from the guy outside of Speedway.
Talk to your doctor today about prescription Bownair. Bownair, the fossil company.
As we return to the shipping routes at New Dawn by CHECO MX. And we have one shipping route, it's right in the corner of the map, and as stated in the description, again covered by CHECO MX already, you'll need the 81 tile mod to access this. It's fine, it does what it needs to do. There's an argument we could have had shipping up the rivers, they're quite wide, but also, you know what, it doesn't really matter. Water flow, we've got a little bit of light water flow here and here. If we go up a little bit further, this is Start Square here. Up here you'll see a little bit of almost null water flow. If anything, it's going the other way. So this is kind of like a null water flow area and could result in maybe a little bit of pollution because you don't have a second access point. Right, what we got here, we've got a very nice large lake, and the forests are, I mean, they're splurged. They're splurged all over the place in a way that, again, I think is almost pleasing. There's no real design. I'll just stick the lines of terrain on for those of you that want to see, like over here on the Start Square area. It's not massively hilly, but it is definitely undulated, so you want to consider that one when you're doing your build. But yes, we have splurges of forests that don't really follow any realistic vibe, and they don't flow with the environment, but they're still pleasing. So I think we can award some sort of credit for that. I've got a few little dotted islands out here. This one I quite like. I don't love, but I quite like. These two don't do nothing for me at all. Don't do nothing double negative. Oops, bad English. And I would say that I wouldn't have bothered with any of those islands at all. But the cliff work over here, I think, is spectacular on a very, very simple, understated level. Again, I'm not saying we're setting the world alight with these things, but I think that that is absolutely perfect for this map. Those cliffs, perfect for this map. A couple of, again, minor talking points if we're looking for talking points. These trees are hanging onto the edge of this cliff along the river here don't fit with the map. Nothing else, nothing really works with the rest of the map along here. They're not drowned, we don't have any in the water, but hanging onto the cliff there at that location, we're not really seeing that anywhere else. And we have a little signature down here as well. I don't know if you can quite make this one out, but we have a CH and an MX cut into the trees there. And do you know what? I think that actually works in a kind of easygoing kind of way. Anyway, to the start square for the asset of the day. And it's Robal's Opposite Pack number 2, Different Corner Angles by Robal. Never heard of Robal before, and I think we'll be hearing a lot from them again. This is magnificent. These are absolutely so generic that they would work with anybody's city build. And if you're looking for a generic office set that have different angles for getting into those different corners, you might have different angles running with your roads, then, well, this is going to work for you, I think. So there you go. Nice little pack. All 5 buildings, 1 click. And factoids, because factoids. Oh yes, this one's so, I don't really understand this one. Right. If you were, reading it word for word, verbatim. If you were lucky enough to live in California, you could enter your pet frog in one of their many public frog jumping competitions. If I was lucky enough, it doesn't say when, it just says if you were lucky enough to live in California. Well, I never was lucky enough to live in California, and I've never owned a frog. Robal's Offices, pack number 2, Different Corner Angles by Robal. Very nice, love them. I think they're right on point with this map as well, you know. It's just one of those things that it just feels so generic that it works. Right, okay, I said talking points. We haven't quite finished yet. Let's head back down to the second intersection. What was I talking about down here? And it wasn't this ramp. It was this ramp over here. The two... Oh, hang on. Okay, so we've got the 2-lane ramp here, which is network extensions too. So you do need network. It's not listed as a requirement. And this up ramp here is going the wrong way. I've just noticed that one. So we have a little bit of a problem there. Minor problem. But anyway, network extensions 2 is why we came back to this 2-lane highway running along the frontage of the intersection there. And also, if we go back to the original one, I said there was something over here as well. We have a national road over here as part of the up and down ramp there. That is network extensions 2 as well. Again, it's not listed on the workshop as a requirement, and it absolutely is, because your map just will not load at all. It'd be completely broken. Right, okay, what do you think of today's map? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit the I button now in the top right corner of your screen. You'll take you to the voting page where you can vote for free with a Facebook, Gmail, Apple, or a Patreon account. Right, I'm going to settle down. I've made it. I made it through. And I'm going to rate this thing. So, aesthetically, it's very pleasing. It is very pleasing. Is it enough for 4 stars? Is plopping down a few randomly splurged trees, very nice trees, nice mixture of trees, is that enough to drag you into the 4th star? It can be. Don't think it really does here. I'm going to go for a very high 3. It's very pleasing. Detailing, there's not really too much wrong with it. We've got a couple of minor talking points there, and with the highway ramp running the wrong way, but it's fine. Again, nowhere close to 4 stars. I'm going to go for a medium high 3. Gameplay potential. I was going to edge into 4 stars on this one. It feels like it would be a very nice, generic Let's Play. Let's do it. Yeah, yeah. But then Network Extensions 2 isn't listed. I have to assume that you don't have it and you won't be primed to go and get it. So it is, I'm afraid, a 1-star map. New Dawn by CHECO MX. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. If you've got Network Extensions 2 already, that map will just run fine. And you'll have a very pleasing build. And that's exactly what that map is all about. Just pleasing us. And I'm fairly pleased. Right, well, thanks for giving me your attention today. We'll be running down the show now. If you're still here, you're part of that 20 and out elite. A few of us that make it to the very end of the show, the only ones that make it to the end of the show. Use the word of the day in a sentence if you can, and we'll be reading it in the comments later. Thanks for watching.